Jerky time. So here I have my seasonings. I have my beef. Now this isn't how I would normally go about doing my jerky. Normally I am a little more attentive with the cutting than this, but all I had at the shops this time was dicing, was diced beef. So we've gone for that and decided to embrace nuggets of jerky as opposed to the little strips we normally do. Beef. It's got to be the leanest beef you can, and make sure to trim all of the fat off. So we've got the ingredients here, and I'm going to put them all in for the marinade and give it a couple of minutes to marinate. So we've got teriyaki there, nice and dark. I've got Worcestershire sauce. We have 2 teaspoons of brown sugar, approximately 20 shakes of liquid smoke. We have got 1 teaspoon of all-purpose seasoning. Now that's the Pearl all-purpose seasoning. I'll put an ingredients list up for you if you want to do it properly. And 2 teaspoons of garlic powder. So we're going to mix this all in and give it a little time to soak in. Really get into that meat.
Really get into that meat.
So I've trimmed all of the fat that I can. Oh, that's making a wonderful noise. Off the beef. Again, it's not an ideal form for it to take. I like my jerky fairly long and chewy. So I'm going to leave that to sit and stew now for a little while. I'll be back in a minute. So that's had a good while to sit now. Let's clear these out the way. There's no excess marinade, so we're going to get those in. Here is my dehydrator tray as usual. I've got a little Teflon mesh jobby on the top. I find it just helps stop stuff sticking. And there we go. We always slightly miscalculate. And there you go. You always slightly miscalculate, don't you? So I'm going to put this in now. Because these aren't quite such a uniform size, I am going to keep quite close eye on this. I'm going to check it fairly regularly because the smaller bits are going to come good much sooner than any thicker bits. I've tried to keep them to a relatively uniform thickness, but that's just not entirely possible at this point. So we'll see how this turns out. A little nugget experiment. See you in a few hours. I'm going to put it in between 70 and 75 degrees because it's meat. It wants to be done hot and quick. You don't want it sitting around warm. So we'll get on that. So it's been about 2.5 hours and I'm just going to check my jerky. That's looking pretty good. I'm going to need a little bit longer. Oh, that's hot. So that's going to need a little bit longer. Another couple of hours, I reckon. Yeah, you can see that's still bendy and nowhere near done yet. So we will check it again in another couple of hours. Okay, so here we are. And we're going to check our jerky. So we have a look at this. Some of it's quite thick. We'll pick this bit, look. That snaps really nicely. See, there's no bend at all in that. That's nice and dry and ready to go. So let's check the thicker bits. I think we're good. So let's get this all stored up. Okay, so we've just taken the beef out of the dehydrator and we're going to have a look. Now, some of this is a little shinier, as you can see. That's the fat there. Obviously, that's not ideal. However, I'm not storing this for long term. This will all be eaten within a week. I say normally I would use a different cuts of beef. I like to store my jerky, well, I like to store anything dry really in glass. I find it just does a better job. So we're going to fill this up. I love these actually. This is what I use for Tupperware, for general freezer storage, and they're little Pyrex pots and they come in different sizes, but they're rectangular, they're practical. I really like them. All in. So these tubs are fantastic. They're Pyrex and they can go straight from the freezer into the oven. They can do anything. They're really good. Again, this isn't long-term storage. In this instance, this will be eaten within the next week at least, so I'm not going to worry. So as these are not for long-term storage, I'm just going to whack these in the cupboard. I'm not going to worry about them too much. There is a little bit too much fat in there, which I wouldn't be using for long-term storage anyway, but as these aren't going to last a week, it doesn't really matter. Jerky. As usual, if you've got any questions or anything like that, please do drop me a line. Send me a message. I will try and do the best I can to answer anything. If you're interested in food preservation, if you're based in the UK, wherever you are, it's useful for everybody. Please subscribe. Let me know what you'd like to hear.